Audio. Sir, am I audible, sir? Morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, Karthik. You're audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Shall we start with your permission, sir?
Yes, we can.
Adjust the volume a little. Adjust the volume a little. Little. Yes. So, am I still audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible. Perfect.
Thank you, sir. We'll start, sir. Otherwise, sir will not be able to see the yes.
A warm and pleasant morning to one and all gathered here. On behalf of Postgraduate Department of English and Postgraduate Department of Psychology, SDNB Vaishnav College for Women, I take the privilege in welcoming you all to the National Conference on Health Humanities, intersection of health, literature, art, society, and culture. Prayer is the inner birth of love into which the soul plunges itself. Now I request everyone to rise for the prayer song.
सत्यस्य सत्यं कृतसत्यनेत्रम् सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः वाणी गुणानुकतने श्रवणौ कथाया हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोनः स्मृत्यां शिरस्तव निवास जगत्प्रणामे दृष्टि सदा दर्शनेषु भवत्तनूना नमो भगवते तस्मै कृष्णाय उदकर्मणे जगत्क्रीडति यो यतः
We are honored by the presence of our special guest, Dr. S. Jayawal, Associate Professor and Head, Central University of Punjab, Bathinda. Now I call upon Ms. Aishwarya from First MA English to introduce our guest speaker.
A warm welcome and happy morning to one and all present here. I'm extremely overwhelmed to get this opportunity to welcome you to the 4th day of National Conference on Health Humanities, intersection of health, literature, arts, society and culture. And it gives me immense pleasure to welcome our renowned speaker, Dr. Jayawal Sundaramurthy. Dr. Jayawal Sundaramurthy is an accomplished associate professor currently serving in the Department of Psychology at the Central University of Punjab, Bathinda. He commenced his academic journey as an assistant professor at the University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi in 2012. With a robust educational background, he earned his BA and MSc degrees from the University of Madras in 2000 and 2002, respectively, followed by an MPhil from Annamalai University in 2007. Driven by a passion for research, he completed his PhD at Vinaya Mission Research Foundation in 2010. He has significantly contributed to the academic community through his research endeavors as evidenced by the doctoral thesis he guided. His commitment to advancing knowledge is evident in diverse topics such as self-efficacy, coping styles, parental burnout, and proactive coping among students with learning disabilities. Being an active member of various professional bodies, including the American Education Research Association and the Indian Academy of Applied Psychology, Dr. Sundramurthy demonstrates his engagement with the global and national academic communities. He has held key roles such as chairperson of Board of Studies and SWAM coordinator for massive online open access courses, showcasing his leadership skills. Furthermore, he has been involved in impactful research projects focusing on prevalence on hypertension among tribal populations, community-based interventions for alcohol abuse, and mental health challenges among frontline health workers. With a wealth of academic achievements, research contributions, and leadership roles, he stands as a respected figure in the field of psychology, making significant strides in both academia and research arena. We are extremely privileged and proud to welcome Dr. Jayawal Sundramurthy. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Without any further ado, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Jayawal. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for your elaborate description about myself. And at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with you people, interact with the young minds. Thank you. How can I open my, how can I share my screen? Yes. It is showing you cannot share the screen while sharing, while the other participant is sharing. I think you have to give administrator rights to share.
Sir, can you check now, sir?
Yeah, I'm checking. Yes, it's coming. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Wonderful. Nice to see you here on this particular conference on the title Upside of Stress Mindset. At the outset, I would like to ask you a simple question. I hope here all are like students and faculty, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Psychology department and English department, sir.
Fine. Can you people tell how much of stress did you experience last year? Probably there are three options given. Option A, relatively less stress. Option B, moderate amount of stress. Option 3, C, a lot of stress. First of all, I would like to know the hands for the option C, a lot of stress. Can we get the number quickly? A lot of stress. Around how much would be the number? Kartika madam. Approximate number, fine.
25, sir.
Fine. Moderate amount of stress. Option B.
Sir, around 6 people are raising their hands.
Okay, then option A, relatively less stress.
5, sir.
What about the remaining?
I really don't know.
So altogether, how much students would be there in the hall at present?
How many of you are here? Which year are you here? Second year. 40. First year is also here? Yes. How many of them? 47.
Class or 20 girls.
Yeah, so around 80 to 90 people are here, sir.
Fine. Okay, so let us move on to the next question. Do you believe stress is harmful for your health? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Let me ask first A. How many prefer yes option? Option A. Okay. Option B. No one?
Two,
Okay, good. Good. Just keep remember the number. We'll come back to this number little later. Coping with the stress. Of course, it's really a tough job, right? How do we cope with the stress? At times when things goes a little harder, it's really very much not possible for each of us to face the stress. We may be reading a lot, but how we could able to implement it, there comes the important question or the difference, what we have read and what we could able to implement. The modern era, which is considered like era of stress, right? If I ask you to tell one option, one question, one stressor which you people are facing at present, you would be bombarded with so many number, right? It's not only you. In this current generation, we could see even school-going kids, the kid who is about to go for school, they also faces a lot of stress. And you come to college, you see your teachers, they are also facing a lot of stress, and every day they face many stress in the from the administration, and administration every day faces many stress. So stress is there everywhere in current context. What is that actually this stress is? Why this is? Why it is there everywhere? What is its importance? Or how can we say, yes, there is stress or there is no stress? For each one of us, when we are engaging in a day, there is something is being there before us as a demand. There is something which is being expected from this situation to you. For example, today the demand is like you need to attend this program, and how much you are able to adapt to the demand. If you are easily able to adapt to the demand, then the demand minus adaptability becomes like less. You are going to face less stress. There is a demand which is having less adaptability. For example, if you are like well prepared for the examination, so there is a demand of examination, and adaptability is like your preparedness. If preparedness is quite high, you are going to face less stress, right? So when you don't have the preparedness, when your adaptability is low, then you are going to have stress. You can able to apply this to any situation where you are facing stress. Something is being expected out of you, and how much you are capable of adapting to that expectation, that is going to result in stress. Of course, when we were learning, when we were growing, then we would be having initially less adaptability, but when we do that similar task again and again, we enhance our adaptability, and we could able to reach out to the level, yes, I am now capable of handling this particular situation easily without much stress. I hope you all might have reached to college in a semester before. So during the initial days, you were facing a lot of ups and downs in your time. And once you learn how to handle each things, once you learn how to resolve your issues, which is there arising in the new situation, which is like a college, especially during your master's program, then slowly you could able to see your able to manage things better and your level of stress goes down. This is applicable to all the context. But at times, what happens when the demand goes extraordinarily, exorbitantly high,
Excuse me, Jibil sir.
or hello, yes,
Deepti here, sir. Sir.
yes, Deepti.
Sir, actually, your PPT is not visible. Can you check it one more time?
You are sharing the screen likely it is coming. So in my screen, I am having PPT. Okay, I'll check it again.
Now it is visible, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
Okay. No issue in between. If anything, you please break me.
Yeah, sure. Sir.
Not a problem.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. So at times when demand becomes like exorbitantly bigger, which is not possible for us to adapt, that time it is going to lead to very high stress. At times when we are not capable enough or competent enough to handle the things, that time also we are going to face stress. What we could see in our daily context, stress is quite inevitable. That means we are not having an easy chance to go out or get rid of stress. Stress is there everywhere. All the places you could see, there are chances of stress. And this stress occurs as a result of a particular cause. And if you are spending little bit of effort, you can able to understand what is that causing me stress. And if at all there are possibilities, you can able to prevent, or you can able to control, or you can able to cope, you can able to fight, you can able to learn how to handle that. When we look into the ways of coping, there are 4 important aspects which has been connected with this, like the knowledge, what you have to cope with that particular stress. How could you able to convert that knowledge into skill? That's like into action, right? And having a regular practice of what you have learned, what you have able to do, and what you could able to practice in a day, and then continuously. And last but not the least, like how much support you have. Actually, today's generation is having a very weak strength in this last aspect, the social support. Because of the influence of recent technological advancement, people are giving little underestimation for this support. Let me ask you a simple one-word answer. Probably, which are all the sources of stress for you as a student of master's program? Can I get few responses? What gives you stress? Yes.
Yeah. Anyone, please.
Probably Deepti can moderate.
Yeah, sure. Sir. Yes. What are the different stress you are having? Research, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Anything else?
As a students, you people only can tell us, no, what are the things stresses really?
Yes. Only research. What about first years? They don't have research. Deadlines, sir. Then
Deadlines, okay.
practical record submission.
Practicals, record submission, okay.
Seminars.
Fine.
They have more stress on their academics, sir.
Academics, whether only academics are giving stress, is there anything beyond academics you get into stress?
Other than academics, do you have any other things to say? What about others?
No issue beyond academics. Beyond academics, also all are good.
Sorry? They have social stress.
Okay, social stress they have. Okay, how relationship? Don't have any trouble in relationship.
Any stress in your relationships?
With your friends.
How about parents? Are you able to maintain a good child? Are you a good child to your parents?
Yes and no, sir. Both the answers.
Uh, let us discuss briefly about the sources of stress. We generally categorize into environmental stress, which comes from the environment, like pollution or hot temperature. I am sitting in a place where there is a little less temperature, so you could see I am just keeping myself with cap because of this cold. And physiological stress or something happens to your body. So probably you're not having proper sleep, or you're having some illness, or during any of other emergency times, if your health gets disturbed. And socio-cultural stressors related to the your dealing with the other people, probably financial problem, relationship problem. When people do work related problems, all comes under this type of stressors. And very importantly, there are cognitive factors which are also been a very important aspect for the stress, like the attitude what you have on things, the belief what you have, and your own thoughts. That also has a great role to cause this stress. There are few things which you don't have much control over, probably the environmental heat or environmental noise or pollution, or at times when you get illness, all such things you don't have much catch on, much control on. Whereas the last part, which we see like attitude, belief, and your own thoughts, there are a lot of chances you have in order to exercise, in order to make control of this stressors, what is happening. And when we look into the life events which is happening every day to all of us, there are few events which can able to cause a very mild stress for a very small period of time, and there are events which can able to cause a little longer period of time with a severe stress. For example, if you see the role strain, the role which you are doing, if it has chance of giving you continuous stress, because it's like having a long time influence. Whereas the daily hassles what you face, probably while coming to this program, if you have missed to bring the note, or if you see that you did not close the door of your hostel, these are like daily hassles which occurs quite often, and until you know that yes, it has been locked, the duration of stress would be like very limited. Whereas when you be looking to the trauma, any type of emergency happenings in our life, that has a cause, that has a chance to lead to severe stress. It happened like one day, Mona, my wife met with an accident, and she was about to take rest for 3 weeks continuously. So you could see the impact of that particular event which happened in her life for that a long period of time. There are major life events which we could see, like death of a spouse, or disturbed marriage, which is having a long-term trouble to the persons. These are all different behavioral or physiological responses. At times of stress, what is that happening to you? You could see like rapid heartbeat, and your respiration goes up. There are many biochemical changes happens in your body, and you could see this behavioral component quite often with the people when somebody is facing a little more stress, like sleep disturbances. And major reason for people going for alcohol and drugs is coming as a result of some stress which they are not able to manage. At times, we could see this absenteeism as well as aggressive behavior from that person when the person is getting into stress. And emotional responses like crying or attempting for suicide or not having a sense of humor, like keeping quiet, all that comes as a response to stress. When we list out the negative responses, whatever is there for stress, the list is quite lengthy because it's going to generate unpleasant emotion, negative thinking, preoccupation, consumes mental energy, leads to interpersonal problem, and lack motivation and reduced performance. But the important question comes here: is stress has any positive effect? Do stress have any positive effect?
Yes, they're saying yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Good. So, why this stress is having this positive effect? Because in order to handle the situation, the species has been given some type of mechanism, physiological mechanism, which can prepare the organism to face the challenge. So, stress actually, what does it do? It tries to make your body ready for the challenge. When we talk about electricity can be used or electricity can be misused, though it is going to make big harm to the person. Similarly, stress is like a source of energy. And the arousal which happens during the time of stress gives you a heightened alertness. And it has a great positive side, like it can able to increase the performance. Somebody was talking about deadlines, and if at all you were aware about the deadline, and if you are having a proper plan how to reach out to the deadline, the stress which you are having, oh, I have to do submission after a week, that will make you to perform. What we could see in the current generation, this stress related to the performance is like quite weak. That means like, yes, there is a deadline which is arising. Do they get into stress for the deadline? Somebody said yes, but majorly we could see the amount of stress which is needed for completing that particular task during the deadline is little less in the prior time. That means like when you are having the enough time in hand where you can able to implement that work, that time it is quite reducing. But the day when you need to submit, then that time it is like appearing like very high. There it goes out of your control. There are few factors which determine how we would be adapting. One is like predictability. Whether you could able to predict the things which is happening in your life, like people said like deadlines and exams or research, all these are like more predictable things. That means like it has a less chance to get into stress. If something comes unpredictably, that's going to add you very high stress. For example, during this program, if I am going to give you one question paper and I am going to ask you, okay, now this is to be added in your end semester evaluation. So please answer these questions. Then something which happens unpredictably, that is going to add more trouble to you. And what you can control, that matters a lot. If something is possible for you to control, then that's going to have less effect, and something which is not having possibility for your control, that has a different effect. And frequency, how many times it is happening, probably research is like one time, whereas the deadlines, when you look into the deadlines, how many deadlines you need to face, when the number increases, accordingly it's going to have you more trouble. And support is important aspect. When people lack support, they are going to struggle a lot. When people generate that support, they are going to handle this quite easily. Why we face trouble because life is not only involved with the individual, it involves with many people. And people have different point of views and different solutions. And the problem is not quite simple what we are facing. It's little complex. So all that adds little more complexity. Okay, finally, what I can do? Of course, we need to deal with the feelings and we need to deal with the reactions. What is that we are supposed to do? So that it will not become like overwhelming. It is not becoming like very big. So we are handling things at the level where it is possible for us to handle. This is a very simple description what we could see like between the performance and the stress. When you are not having stress, your performance is to be very low. When you are having a little more stress, then you are going to be a little active. When it becomes like more excessive, then it's lead to a stage of confusion. And then at last, if it is like very much stressful, then you are going to withdraw. So for long period of time, we could see when people encounter stress, these three C's, if they were like getting less disturbance from the stress. One is like control, another one is commitment, another one is challenge. What you can able to control, there you are focusing. What you could able to take as a commitment, that you could able to take, and seeing things instead of like hard thing rather than seeing things as a challenge. So when you take these three C's, you could able to handle the stress quite easily. That means like you would be having less effect, less disturbance of the stress. Now let us move on to the question what we had earlier. This was raised by the recent researchers. This person whom have been shown is Peter Salovey. He is in Stanford University, and Alia Cram, who is a student of Salovey. This Salovey is the one who have defined emotional intelligence in the initial phase of 1990s. He was the one who have given the construct like emotional intelligence. How we look into stress has come as a new innovation in the stress researchers. Actually, from 2013, they were working on this particular idea. The question which I have raised comes as evidence for two different ways of looking into stress, whether we are seeing stress as enhancing or stress as debilitating. Stress as enhancing and stress as debilitating. Stress as enhancing mindset tries to have a positive outlook, what we are going to face, how we are going to use this, whereas stress is debilitating mindset is seeing stress as a trouble. Stress is going to cause you some type of disturbances. This Kelly McGonigal, she has given in her TED talk in 2013 to a larger group of audience. She asked the similar question, do you have experienced stress in the last year? Then people said yes. And then, do you think stress is beneficial or stress is having trouble to your illness likely? Then people said yes and no. What they have found in the research, they have done this in USA with more than 18,000 samples, and they have just monitored them for quite long period of time. What they have found, there were a group of people who said like, yes, I had experienced a lot of stress in the past year. Among that, those who said, yes, stress is having a choice of causing me illness, those who believed that stress is having a choice of causing illness, they were having higher proportion of death risk than the people, those who were believing that stress is not going to cause me illness. Both the group were having similar stress, and those who believed yes, stress is having a cause for my illness. They were having higher risk of encountering death than the other group. Why it happened? They started exploring more. There they could able to come up with the idea, the way we encounter stress, the way we believe what stress can do for us would be the important contributor. The belief what we have about stress, what stress can do, is an important contributor for the increased death rate. Actually, this different research which has been mentioned over here gives us a strong evidences for the mindset, which is playing a huge role in terms of the outcome what we are facing. Actually, stress is not having a equal implication on each one of us. Each one of us respond to stress quite differently. Even though we were saying we are all having stress, but the stress responses, what is coming to each one of us is little different, because how we see things plays a very important role, right? If somebody see things little trickily, little differently, they are going to have a particular impact which is not found in the other person when the other person see things in the other way. So there these people have come up with the two different mindset, which is known as stress is enhancing mindset and stress is debilitating mindset. For the past 40-50 years, all the literatures which has come in terms of stress, they were trying to point out stress is bad, stress is bad, stress is bad, stress is bad. Actually, what I could try to contest here, if you are having stress is enhancing mindset, actually stress is to be good. Stress need to be cherished. Stress need to be utilized. Actually, this is exactly contradicting to the long time belief what we had, and it will be little hard for all of you to understand and then recognize that. But I am just trying to give you the seeds of this. Probably slowly these seeds will grow when you start taking a little more effort on this particular aspect. So when you have stress is enhancing mindset, that experiences stress enhancing my performance and productivity. So when you experience stress, you feel like, yes, it's going to increase my performance and it's going to increase my productivity. And you have the idea like, yes, it's going to improve my health and vitality. And it facilitates my learning and growth. I need to learn, I need to grow. For that, I need this stress. The effect of stress are positive and should be utilized. That means like, yes, stress has a positive effect and that positive effect has to be utilized. When the other person who is having stress is debilitating mindset, he is having an idea that stress debilitates my health and vitality. That is, it is going to reduce my health and it's going to reduce my energy. Stress debilitates my performance and productivity. So the performance which I am having is easily getting affected or reduced, and the productivity what I have is getting affected or reduced. Stress inhibit my learning and growth. Yes, due to stress, I could not able to do this. Due to stress, I could not able to reach out there. Due to stress, I cannot do this. So that's come as a result of this stress is debilitating mindset. The effect of stress are negative and should be avoided. The debilitating mindset is the one which is like predominantly seen in people because of the past continuous long years of exposure what we have with us, which has a exactly opposite action when we look into stress is enhancing mindset. Where are the evidences for this stress is enhancing mindset? If we look into the important evidences, the major part of the evidence comes from the placebo studies. Of course, you all know what is placebo. What is placebo? Can anyone tell?
Can anyone tell what is placebo effect? Placebo from final year? Nobody knows? Final year students?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, placebo is something which is given in the name of a medicine, which is not actually having the component related to that medicine. But when the person consumes that in the belief, like, yes, I am consuming the medicine, the person gets the cure. The cure comes as a result of absence of a real molecule which is supposed to give that cure, is known as placebo effect, right? We have a lot of evidence in science where we could see like the presence of placebo effect. And all the all psychologist students would agree the cognitive behavior therapy, the therapist is targeting on the way the client look into the problem. They try to reconstruct the schema which the client is having. The wrong schema which the client is having is predisposing for the experience of higher stress that's been modified, that has been changed in terms of cognitive behavior therapy. And another important aspect what we could see, the physiological responses during challenging times. Right. Of course, when I was talking about the physiological responses related to stress, I was telling about increased heart rate, increased respiration and all, right? During the vacation time, we all go out for trips and we go out in trucking, or we go out in some type of swings where we will be reaching to height and then we will be coming down, right? When you are going in such type of rounds, you are also going to experience the same increased arousal or increased heartbeat or increased respiration, right? But why that is not being found as stressful, rather than that is being found as exciting? That is given like enhanced emotion rather than giving you the irritability, or rather than giving it some type of negative emotionality. There comes the important difference when you approach something with positive, with your stress is enhancing mindset. The combination of the responses which comes from the biology, even though there are cortisol increased, we could see in the blood system, there are a few other mechanisms which comes into play, which gives you a different effect, combined effect, rather than when you see, yes, I am gone. Based on the work done by Walton and Crown, we could see stress enhancing mindset is influencing the positive emotion, what we get during the time when we encounter the stress, and it influences our attention to the positive stimuli, what we need to see so that we can able to go up, or we can able to handle the stress correctly. And it gives you motivation because it tries to utilize the available energy which is being caused by the stress. And at last, physiologically, we could see higher level of DHEAS, which is like another hormone which is available in the blood system, which gives you the protective mechanism. Right. So because of that, what is resulting? You are seeing like enhanced performance, and you are having enhanced well-being, and you are having enhanced health. Whereas when we look into the opposite of it, when we have stress is debilitating mindset, you are having less positive emotion. That means it has a chance to take you to many of the negative emotions, and your attention is to look into the negative stimuli. Negative stimuli in the sense like, yes, I told you I could not able to do research. See, I am struggling in getting into the right research topic. And motivation is like avoiding response instead of approaching response. Because approaching response comes when you are having that pleasantness, whereas here it is taking you to avoiding response. And what we could recognize from studies is like physiological response by lower DHEAS, which is having a protective mechanism inside you. So when you have moderate DHEAS, it is going to enhance your health and vitality, whereas when you have less of this, it is going to decrease your health. By the way, it leads to compromised performance and compromised well-being and compromised health. Actually, this model has been made on the basis of the correlational research evidences. Further researches more are needed in order to explore the possible causative effect on this particular idea. At last, finally, what is need to be remembered? Think stress as an indicator that you care about something rather than cause for panic. Focus on the task rather than the emotion. Build the relationship so that you have people to turn into times of stress. Try to avoid assuming that your stress is going to last for longer, and don't worry about things that you are out of your control, and don't spend time with people who are negative. When something is unacceptable, try to accept it. Something is uncertain, try to reduce it. Something is uncontrollable, we have the choice. There is only one problem, that is the fear of unable to cope. Try to reduce that fear. If you start seeing stress with enhancing mindset, we could able to cope with the things easily. You are not alone. There are many people there to help you. With this, I stop. Now we can take up your questions.
Any questions?
The last session. Don't worry. The last session in the class.
We haven't received any questions, sir. Yes, sir. No questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. It was an enlightening session. Now I invite Mrs. Catherine Victoria from the Department of Psychology to render the vote of thanks.
Respected principal, vice principal, and management, it gives me joy in delivering the vote of thanks. We thank Dr. Jayawil, sir, Associate Professor and Head, Central University of Punjab, Bathinda, for giving insight into stress. It was a really enjoyable session and very knowledgeable for us. Thank you so much, sir. We thank the PG Department of English and Department of Psychology in collaborating and organizing the national conference. We thank Dr. J. Karthika, Associate Professor and Head, PG Department of English, and Mrs. Sujata Vasudevan, Head of the Department of Psychology. We also thank the student coordinators and all the students for your kind patience and being participative. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.